Welcome to the Crypto Lab. It's decision time for XRP. In this video, I will explain why I think that next week is very important. Today, I will give you an update of the Moonshot chart. Then we will dive into the Trendline chart. And last but not least, we will talk about the big picture chart. I know it doesn't look like it, but there are a lot of things lining up for a bounce to the upside. I'm going to explain why I think this, so without further ado, let's begin. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel, and to all of you, like, comment if you like the video. Thanks for the support. So as I said it, we will start with the Moonshot chart. As you know, we were waiting for the cross between the yellow line and the green line. And as you can see, the yellow line touched the green line with the previous candle that we have just right here. As you can see, we were above the green line for this candle, and for the next candle, we are below it. I remind you that we are on the 4 days time frame. This means that each candle represents 4 days. So now that the yellow line crossed the green line, XRP has 4 days to avoid an official cross. To repeat history like what we did in the past when we were there, XRP touched and crossed the green line before a bounce. As you can see, we had this candle, right? We were there with this candle. The line crossed the green line, and on the next candle we had a huge moonshot to the upside, as you can see, and a bounce of the yellow line on the green line, and we avoided the cross. So I'm making this video on Sunday the 22nd, and as you can see, the next candle will start on Wednesday the 25th. This means that XRP has 2 days left to avoid the cross, Monday and Tuesday. So let me know in the comments if you think that XRP can do it. In the past, we know that after an official cross, the yellow line stayed below the green line for a long time. Indeed, as you can see, the official cross was just right here. After we went down, we went up to retest the green line, and we got rejected from it, and we went to the downside. So we need to keep this in mind, okay? That said, let me remind you that we do not have a lot of history for this indicator, so even if it seems to work, we have to be aware that it may not work all the time because we do not have a lot of reference points. It's time to move to the next chart, the Trendline chart. It's been a while since the last analysis of this chart, so I will refresh your mind quickly. This yellow line that you see just right here can be considered as a lagging trend for XRP. This line is telling us 3 things. The first, as you can see, when we are above the line and we use it as a support, we go up and we are bullish. It was exactly the same thing just right here. We went up, we used the line as a support, and we had a moonshot to retest the critical level. The second thing that we can say is that when we are below the line, we are bearish. And every time the price goes below the line, at some point we will go to retest the yellow line, so the trend line, and we will try to use it as a support again. Okay, you can see just right here, we went below it, we went above, and then we went to retest it. We failed, so we went down. Okay, here it was the same thing. We went above it to retest it as a support. We failed, we went down. Here again, we failed, we went down. And even recently, as you can see, we went below the line, so we were bearish, and we used it as a resistance. Here we went slightly above it, but we couldn't hold it as a support, and that's why we went to the downside. So you understand how important this line is. And the third thing is that it gives us key levels of the trend. What do I mean by that? For example, we know that XRP all-time high was just right here. From the trend line perspective, the yellow line, you can see that the top was just right here. Now, if we take a look at our most recent top, you can see that it was just right here, and from the trend line perspective, it was just right here. So as you can see, this top, okay, is lower than this top. But for the trend line, as you can see, it is at exactly the same level. So from the trend line perspective, we have a double top. One top just right here for the trend line, and a second top just right here. And as you know, one of the golden rules of technical analysis is the fact that previous levels of resistances may become supports after a breakout. So we know that we had a breakout just right here. It was the very first time that the yellow line, the trend line, was making a higher high compared to the all-time high that we had just right here and again just right here, okay? So this was a big event of 2021. So what can we say about the current situation? As you can see, the trend line made a new all-time high, okay? And right now it is retesting the very same level of the tops that we had here in 2018 and in 2021. So I hope that this level will be a support now and that the trend line will be able to reverse and to start going up. If we start seeing something like this, it will mean that the bulls don't want the trend line to go below the critical level, okay? So it will be an early bullish sign. Now you understand why I think that next week is important, and this is a perfect setup for a bounce up. I remind you that on the Moonshot chart we just had a cross, so this is another argument in favor of the importance of next week. It's time to move to the last chart of the day, the big picture chart. You remember that on this channel we said that after crossing the 180 weeks exponential moving average, we would retest the mountain indicator, and this is exactly what we did. We crossed the 180 weeks exponential moving average and we retested the mountain indicator. I remind you also that in the past, after touching the mountain indicator, we always went up, okay? You can see just right here, we tested it only once, we didn't make a lower low and we went up. Here again, we tested it only once, we didn't make a lower low and we went up, okay? Even for the very bottom of XRP, just right here, you can see that we tested it once, it was our very bottom and we went up. Here again, we didn't make a lower low after touching the mountain indicator and we went up, okay? So that's why I hope that XRP will be able to have a bounce. It doesn't mean that we will not make a lower low in the future, but at least for the short term, we should have a bounce to the upside. So this is another argument saying that we should have a rebound from this level, okay? Currently, the mountain indicator is around $0.34, so this is exactly the same level as our previous low. And our strongest resistance, which is the bull market support, is currently around $0.89. It will definitely be an interesting week. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. That's all for today, and as always, time will tell.